typically this time of year, maybe the defense is a little ahead of the offense. Are you seeing that?
You know what? I think it's been outstanding competition both ways. You know, you start looking at it on a play-by-play basis. I think our defense has done a phenomenal job of really owning the red zone right now. But what I've loved to see out of, you know, especially offensively, is we're making a lot more one-on-one plays down there. You see a lot more guys separating. You see instances of younger guys stepping up and taking everything that they had in spring ball, and you see a consistent improvement. And knowing that our defense is that passionate, that energetic, and that focus on stopping the red zone is going to do nothing but make us better as well.
The other day we saw Burnett make a couple red zone catches. What kind of weapon is he down there?
It's just his ability to run and not lose speed while changing direction. You know, you start looking at his height, you know, on top of how long his arm span is, and just being able to know that whether it's Tanner, whether it is Key, whether it's Al, made a nice play as we were driving down on the fringe today in that 2-minute drill. You know, just those bigger bodies and being able to know that you have a lot of radius to be able to go out there, especially in the middle of the field, and be able to make a lot of tough contested catches.
You had Kian in spring. Now he's been here, 6 months or so? What is the biggest difference or change that you've seen since he first got here?
I think just ownership and knowledge of the game. You know, it's been cool to be able to see him understand why he's doing things. You know, you get here and you should be focusing on things like prom, and you should be, you know, finishing up classes and taking finals and, you know, focusing on graduation. But what was awesome was, you know, he took a lot of time just trying to understand where to line up and what to do. You know, the big focus for the spring was what to do, and now we're getting to focus on why we're doing it, and that's when you start to see, you know, that next step, that next evolution of, you know, becoming a better player and playing faster, quite frankly. I think, honestly, it's just contested catches. You know, when you're covered, you know, by a Mike linebacker, or you have single coverage, that isn't really covered. You've got to make sure that you work to separate and you use your body to shield defenders. That's what I'd like to see, you know, us continue to grow, and where we've made a couple plays down there, it's been pretty cool to see.
How much did Keenan block in high school?
They asked him to do a ton. You know, it was situational. They definitely, you know, focused on him being outside as an ex-receiver, or outside and being able to do a lot of stuff like that. But when they needed a goal line player, they needed some short yardage stuff, they'd get in a bunch set and start running some normal plays.
Adapt and embrace that part of them?
Yeah, I think anytime that you have a freshman, you always kind of wonder, especially the projection from high school to college is always, what is he going to do when the bright lights come on? And to Key's credit, he's attacked it, and he knows that it's something that he's got to get better at and work every day pretty hard, but the willingness is what you'll want, and what you see at him is a willingness, and he's not shying away from contact, so that's been really, really cool to see. Berto's been awesome. You know, Berto, again, American football is still very, very new. And what's been awesome for him is being able to work and really focus in the classroom, being able to answer things fast, being able to respond there. You see a lot of explosion. You see soft hands. You know, we just got to continue to work his understanding of, you know, coverages, and now focus on how to manipulate things and be able to create some separation on the back end.
I believe you guys want to get in terms of tight end side you guys will use throughout the season.
I think anytime that you have a tight end that does as much as we're going to do, you're really looking at, you know, 3 to 4 would be an ideal number. And right now, I think the 3 guys that are really starting to separate themselves are Alex Lyons, Tanner, and then Key. But I love what I see out of Tyler Powell. I love what I see out of Berto continuing to improve. And Isaiah Johnson's a very physical guy that I think we can have some things for, and it'll help us a ton on the kicking game as well.
You have time for one more question.
Kian, Bryce Woma, and Alex Lyons combined for 16 receptions, I believe, last year. There were 30 total targets for tight ends. How do you feel about those numbers, and do you feel like they're going to increase significantly?
Sure. I always think this is, I'd be a liar if I said I didn't want more targets for the tight ends, and we're always going to make sure that we continue to work on our pass catching ability. That's always going to be a very, very big focal point. But the best thing about playing the tight end position is going to be a position where you may get 10 catches in a game. In one game, you may get 2 targets. So being able to control that ultimately is going to be out of our hands. We just want to make sure that we're affecting the game. So if we're asked to run block, we want to make sure that we take pride in our run blocking, and it's done in in a dominant fashion. If it's pass protection, we're going to pass protect our ass off and make sure that we utilize ourselves to the best of our ability. And if it happens to be one of those great games where you do get 15 targets, 10 catches, then we're going to make sure that we work the hell out of that too.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you.